Howdy, it's Uncle Paul, and I want to let you know about my latest doctor's appointment. My nephews grew up going out to the lake on that boat. It belonged to their grandfather on their mother's side, and it's just been sitting there for the last few years for various reasons. And so now this summer they've decided that they're going to fix it up and get it back out on the lake. Well, I threw Hurley's ball and it went into the kayak. Go ahead, get up in there and get it. You can get it. Go ahead. Go ahead, hop up in there. Go ahead, hop up in here. You can get in it. There you go, good Hurley. Good boy, that deserves a treat. you hear that word treat? There you go, good boy. Well, the boys worked hard on the boat, so they thought they deserved a little bit of time out on the lake. And there's a place on the lake that's got a nice beach, and so they took one of the kayaks and they went out there with their buddies and 2 or 3 of the girlfriends, I think, and had a good time. Having fun all day long out at the lake on a hot sunny day does have its consequences.
Now go stand in front of the fan.
Does that feel good? Well, some of y'all may have noticed in the last couple of my videos I wasn't walking with my backpack on. So what happened was, about 3 weeks ago, I was laying on the ground with Hurley on the back patio for about 20 minutes, just kind of playing with him. Then when I started to get up, as I stood up, I started feeling a bunch of well, kind of some pains in my abdomen. And it certainly was something that felt abnormal, something that was different going on in there, different sensations. Hadn't felt those before. So after a couple minutes, everything settled down. I didn't have any more pain, so I wasn't too concerned about it. Just kind of wondered what was different about it. Then a few days later, I was lying in bed on my back, and I would, lift your head up. You lift your head up almost like you're doing a crunch. Pardon me. And I noticed this bulge. It kind of pooched up right in the middle of my stomach. And so I'm like, well, that's something new. And wasn't really sure. It didn't hurt when I pressed on it. It was solid, tight, hard. And so I just kind of kept an eye on it. What was interesting about it was if I bent over, that I have this, of course, fat. You've probably noticed that I'm fat. But, you know, when I press on anywhere on my gut, there's tension right away, some kind of tension. Well, when I would bend over, there was no tension right at where that pooch was. A layer of fat just seemed to kind of hang there, and I'd push. There was no tension until, you know, an inch or two. I don't know, there was a gap till I hit what I guess were my muscles. I didn't know. So I thought, okay, well, that's just not right. So I decided to make an appointment to see the doctor. So finally did that. And by the way, there was one other thing that kind of prompted me to want to see the doctor. I'd been having a pain in my right side. It wasn't really a pain. It was just something. It was some kind of discomfort that was steadily growing, and was just letting me know it was there every now and then. But it didn't hurt constantly, and I couldn't press anything that made it hurt. So I was curious about that. So anyway, I didn't know if maybe there was some kind of hernia, but it didn't really feel like that. I just, obviously, not being a doctor, didn't know. So, whoa, something caught me. Well, okay, limb caught me there. That's weird. So anyway, I went to the doctor and explained to him what was going on, and right away he explained that it had something to do with my muscles right in that spot. And I don't remember exactly what he said. I don't remember if they're kind of weakened a little bit, kind of spread out a little bit. Nothing ruptured in my abdomen. I mean, everything's intact. And, you know, I had been concerned that, okay, that may be something. If it's bad enough, they'll say, look, you know, you really don't need to go hiking at all. But he said, that's normal and don't worry about it. So I asked him, so I can hike, I can lift weights, because I had stopped lifting weights. I'd stopped walking on this trail in my backyard because I didn't want to fall over and rupture something or hurt something any further. And I just quit a lot of things except my walking, really. And then I didn't do stairs. I was afraid with my big old belly tugging with every step that might do some damage. So I cut back on everything for a couple weeks. But he said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about backpacking. You know, all the getting up and down and getting in the tent and squatting and putting on a heavy pack. Don't worry about it. So I got the thumbs up. Oh, yeah, it went down the wrong way. I was supposed to cross over. On the pain in my side, you know, everything where I kind of pointed where it was, so, well, there aren't any organs there, you know. So he said probably it's from the broken rib you had years ago, and I really irritated it last year on the AT when I slipped on that slippery rock and landed on my gut real hard. Said stuff like that is going to irritate it, and little stuff. So it was real close to that. It just didn't feel like that. So anyway, he gave me a thumbs up. No x-rays or anything. Did do a blood lab, and everything's coming back within the normal range. It's looking good. So anyway, that's the health report. I got no excuses there. Thank goodness. I try to make myself drink one of these a day. On days like this, it's not difficult I went to my nephew Reagan's work. That's where I get my dog treats for Hurley. And so I told him who I was and everything, what I was doing. And his boss happened to be in there, and he said, yeah, you can go back and see Reagan if you'd like. He's all the way at the other end of the property. He said, just drive back there. Well, why should I drive? Why do I need to drive? He said, well, it's a long walk back there. Of course, and it's real hot. And he stressed a couple more times what a long walk it was to the back. And, you know, he didn't want me to kill over on his property. I understand that. But I wanted to say, well, what is he, you know, like 3 or 4 miles back there? But I didn't do that. So anyway, so I walk on back there, and it's probably 100 yards at the most. You know, it's not real far. Talked to Reagan, came back and got the dog biscuits. But anyway, you know, I don't blame the guy. You know, looking at me, I don't blame him. Anyway, thought it was kind of funny. Good Sunday morning. Well, I just want to add to my health report that my knees are doing good and my back is doing good as well. So it's been a good week. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Let's never give up. Today is a new day. This is the beginning of a new week. So let's make the best of it. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share these videos, and I'll see you next week.